ain't one.
Keep on rocking in the free world. Keep on rocking in the free world.
Freedom is sexy. JustIncredible.tv.
Afternoon, everyone. Just on my way to work. I wanted to chime in a little bit about Eric, Nomadic Fanatics' choice to get into a Class B. Not even a factory Class B, a home-built small Class B. And you know, I'm right away, I know this video is going to get a bunch of downvotes just because I'm talking about Nomadic Fanatic. It's actually really fascinating to see how the trolls react to that. But I can relate 100,000% to what he's doing. I've been doing this for over 16 years, as all of my long-term followers know, way before I had digital cameras and YouTube accounts and all this. And I have lived in everything from big Class A's to small to mid-sized Class C's to a multitude of Class B's. And at the end of the day, I always come back to Class B's. And last time I was in a Class C was a 21-foot Dodge Frontier Class C, same layout as Eric's Tilly had. And although I loved it, I cannot deny I always wanted to go back to a Class B while I was living in that Class C. And it was always in the back of my mind, I really should sell this and get myself a good Class B again. A camper van. For a multitude of reasons. Number one, stealth in the cities. Obviously. People walk by a Class B like this and it's invisible to people. Just like any other work van with a high top on it, or a wheelchair van, or transit vans, people don't notice them. Only people that live in these know that they're campers and know that they're and you can tell when somebody's in them. But the average Joe doesn't even notice. Number two, build quality. All the Class C's I've had, and to an extent the Class A I had too, had leak issues. Leak issues and insulating problems too. When you drive, they bend, they warp, they spring leaks, and the walls are built out of plywood and sticks and tin. That's what they call them, sticks and tin. Popsicle sticks hold them together basically, and then they have plywood walls. So when you get a leak, not if, but when, because all RVs get leaks, it rots your walls. Look what just happened to Eric. Pretty much all even Class C's that are less than 10 years old, spring leaks, and then you could have major problems. Whereby, if I get a leak in this, it's not going to do any major damage. I don't have walls made of wood that are going to rot. I have fiberglass, I have foam insulation. It's the hard foam in there. And then on the inside, I have paneling, which is vinyl, some is fiberglass, and some is just paneling. It's no big deal. If you get a leak, you're not going to rot your whole wall apart. That's it. Build quality is definitely. These things are tough as nails. Now, the other thing, too, that a lot of people think about is space. Now, a lot of people that have never done this lifestyle before, or they're thinking of getting into it, I notice that people start off thinking they need space. I'd love to do that, but I need a big one, is what you always hear. And ultimately, not all, there's exceptions to every rule, but for the majority who do this lifestyle, who started with a Class C or A, end up downsizing eventually. I was just looking at a Vancouver Craigslist the last week or so. I always check out deals for RVs and things that are out on the market, and there are tons of ads with people that have Class C's and one guy with a giant Class A. All of them are looking to trade them for Class B's. Straight trades or sell them because they want to downsize. There's lots of reasons why people are doing this, but I think a lot of people realize, geez, I don't need this much space. I used to live in a one-bedroom apartment with one bed, so why would I need an RV that has 3 beds or 4 beds? You know, my old Class C had 3 beds in it. Like, yeah, I had it set up as a couch and a dinette most of the time, but still, you have all this space you don't really need. Now, I just did a big cleanup behind the seat here, building in my new sofa there, and I couldn't believe how much junk I accumulated in like 4 feet of space. And it was all stuff I don't need. My rule is if you haven't touched it for 6 months, throw it away. Donate it. You don't need it. I mean, I've said this multitude times before. You don't need stuff. Stuff doesn't make you happy, and the less stuff you have, the happier you actually are. Happily houseless. He's using that for his slogan, right? It's like, it's so true. And I meet so many people that used to have giant properties and houses. They downsize their lives. They move into a small trailer or a sailboat or Class Bs like this, and even Class Cs. I mean, again, you're downsizing. You don't need the space once they in some countries they sell micro apartments that have the same square footage as this van has. So I think it's really a North American spoiled thing. Like, only in the last couple hundred years do people on this side of the planet think they need all this space with 3,000 square foot houses, big yards, and all this stuff. You don't need that stuff, and it certainly isn't going to make you happier. You might think it does, but it doesn't. The lady who bought my ambulance, she's a landlord with multiple properties and junk as far as the eye can see. And she is downsizing her life. She says, I'm done with all this. And she is moving into a 22-foot Airstream trailer. It's only a foot longer than this. And I guarantee you in a year or two, she is going to be like, why didn't I do this sooner? She is going to be so much happier without stuff cluttering up her life. But, anyways, the point is, too, I mean, if you were out in, like, Alaska or something, or out in the country and all that, sure, you can get a bigger vehicle. You're probably not going to be driving it every day, right? You'll have a dirt bike, or, your living situation could be different. I'm not saying that more space is a bad thing. I'm just saying you don't need it. People that believe they need more space, I think that's untrue. You don't need it. Wants and needs are very different things. And once you don't have the space and the junk anymore, you realize you don't miss it. I know a lot of people find that hard to believe, but I have met hundreds of people over the years doing this. And almost all of them downsized from a house or an apartment into Class Cs and Class Bs, and they would not go back. I'm one of them, I'll tell you right now. Even just going from my Class A to my Class B, I couldn't believe all the junk I was hauling around and paying to haul it around with fuel and maintenance costs. It was just, what did I have all this junk for? So, it's a constant journey, though. If I had like a record collection full of vinyl, or I had a whole bunch of power tools and I needed places to store. First of all, I'd have to decide, do I need this stuff? Is it actually going to make me happy? Maybe I make a living using these power tools, so I need to keep them somewhere. Then I'd rent a storage locker or something like that. But, there's always a way. Anyways, the point is I can relate to what Eric did. And because I was exactly where he was. When I had the Class A, I kept thinking I need to go down, maybe get a Class C or B. Then when I got the C, I thought, no, I need to go back to a B. Just so much easier to drive around, park, and I felt happier and cozier. I like cozy spaces too. So again, that's really a personal preference. I really like to have everything in a small space in one room. Even when I lived in houses and apartments, I would spend 99% of my time in one room, and I had a little mini fridge in that room, and I would try to have everything I could have in one room so I wouldn't have to leave the room except to go to the bathroom or something. So throw in the washroom and kitchen into the same room, and here we go. I've got it on wheels now, everything I need. I mean, we only spend a few minutes a day in the washroom out of our lives. So why do you need to have a separate large walk-in washroom and pay $1,000 a month rent for that privilege? We don't need that stuff. Anyways, kudos to you, Eric. I look forward to what you do with the new van. You've done great already. And I just wanted to say that I could relate to what you did. Don't let the trolls get to you, the ones that say, oh, you should have upgraded to a big Class A or something like that. That's bullshit. I think you did upgrade because I think you've got a better rig for you and for your lifestyle. And it's all about what makes you happy. So you made an upgrade for sure. You didn't downgrade. All right, keep on rocking in the free world, everyone. Hey, so what do you think of van life?
Van life's fucking awesome.
Styrofoam boxes full